Hello everyone and welcome to ITLS Academy Empower the Youth. So today in this lecture we will going to understand what is the pilot plant scale up techniques. So in the lecture number 15 and 16 we have already discussed about the pilot plant techniques that is used in any pharmaceutical industries. That topic is related to the broad introduction about the pilot plant. So today in this lecture we will going to understand the scale up techniques of the pilot plant. So before understanding the scale up techniques of the pilot plant, let us understand actually what is a pilot plant is this, because this lecture is very important if you are a pharmaceutical industrial background student. So this lecture is for you. So let us understand firstly what is a pilot plant. So pilot plant, it is an integral, I'm saying the integral, that is the most important part of any pharmaceutical industries, means where the lab scale formula, it is transferred into a viable product by the development of viable practical procedure of manufacturing. Okay, so it is one of the most important part of any pharmaceutical industry. So here we have seen that we have used three words, that is pilot, then second is pilot plant, and the scale up. So plant is a place, we all are aware that what is a plant. A plant, it is a place where the three m's means the men, material and money are brought together for the manufacturing of product. Okay, wherever someone will ask you what is a plant, what do you understand my plant, so it is a place where the three m's, this is the key word, 3M means men, material and money, they are brought together and they are used for the manufacturing of product. Okay, now comes the pilot plant. As already told you that it is the most integral part of any pharmaceutical industries, where the lab scale formula is transferred into a viable product by the development of viable practical procedure of the manufacturing. Done. And the last one is the scale up. So scale up is, it is an art of, or you can say it is an art for designing of prototype using a data obtained from a pilot plant model. Okay, so this is the three definition that is very important whenever you are giving any examination or you are giving any interviews. This is very important. Now generally one question arises here is, what is the significance of the pilot plant? Okay, so the basic significance is it gives a very rough idea about the physical space required for the related functions to be carried out in the industries. Okay, so it also review the equipment, or it do the review of equipment most compatible with the formulation and most economical, simple and reliable in producing the product. So this is the significance of the pilot plant. Now coming back to the topic, that is what is a pilot plant scale up techniques. So the pilot plant scale up technique, it is a branch of pharma industries, or you can say companies, in which a lab scale formula, it is converted into a commercially viable product by creating a reliable manufacturing technique. So whenever you have any lab scale formula, and by using that lab scale formula, you can say by using the techniques, what you do, you convert the lab scale formula into a commercially viable product. Okay, and how you are doing? By creating a reliable manufacturing technique. So this is an important, that what is a pilot plant scale up technique is. The same technique employed in the dosage form research and development are adapted to a multiple output volume, frequently larger than those obtained during the research and development. There is always a requirement of an intermediate batch scale describing the techniques and intimidating those in commercial manufacturing in any new or established pharmaceutical sector, which is accomplished by testing the formula ability to survive a batch scale and process change. So if we talk about the technique, so this is not only related to any pharmaceutical industries, that it is also, this same techniques, that is a scale up technique, it is also used where where the dosage form of the drug is done. Has a great advantages in R&D sector, that is research in development. So this technique is very useful in any this pilot plant sectors. Now comes the next, that is what are the objectives of the pilot plant scale up techniques. So before understanding the objective, why this objective is important, because if we see the objective of the pilot plant, so the primarily objective of the pilot plant is the physical as well as the chemical stability of the product. Okay, so if we talk about the basic of objective of the pilot plant, so the basic objective of pilot plant scale up technique is that um, the primarily objective, you can say, of the pilot is the physical as well as the chemical stability of the product. Means what is the physical and what is the chemical stability of the product, this is the main objective of the pilot plant. The second one is, hence each pilot plant batch representing the final formulation and manufacturing procedure that should be studied for the stability, because at the end of the manufacturing, when the manufacturing is done, it is the thing is done, that is each pilot plant batch. Okay, the final formulation and the manufacturing procedure, that should be studied for what, the stability, for the physical as well as the chemical stability of the product. Now here comes that stability. What does stability is? So stability studies should be carried out in a finished packaged packages as well. Means whenever the product is totally done and it is goes into a packaging sector, then also you can check the stability of the tagged product. Okay, so this is very important. Now a pilot plant is a facilities in the pharmaceutical businesses that convert the lab scale formula into a commercial product. The commercial product is the medicine or a drug that we consume. Okay, by developing a reliable and practical manufacturing techniques, this we have already discussed. The second objective says that the scale up is the process of creating the prototype utilizing the data gathered from the pilot plant model. R&D production pilot plant is the term used to describe the research and development facilities. So whenever you are doing the any scale up thing, means the scale up, it is generally a process of creating the prototype. Whenever you want to create a prototype, you use the scale up process. Okay, so how this prototype is being created? It is created whenever you are utilizing any data that you have gathered from the pilot plant model. Then this R&D production pilot plant, it is the term used. Okay, now the formulation scientist and the production manager would be interested in the pilot plant scale up from the beginning of the development project. So whenever you want to manufacture any you can say pharmaceutical product, the first and the most important is to create a overview, or you can outlet of the product that is going to be manufactured. Means what are the raw materials, what should be the machineries and every formulation that is going to be used in this production. So even after producing an excellent product in the laboratory, therefore the pilot plant as well as a defined procedure may fail quality assurance test. So it is something to be understood very clearly that even whenever you are doing any whenever any product, ठीक है, अगर वो मैन्युफैक्चर्ड हो रहा है, कोई भी प्रोडक्ट है वो मैन्युफैक्चर्ड हो रहा है इन द लेबोरेटरी, और उसमें कोई भी तरीके का कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं है कि हाँ उस प्रोडक्ट का फेलियर हो जाए, मीन्स देर इज़ नो चांसेस ऑफ एनी फेलियर, then also sometimes the quality may fail at the quality assurance, means even after producing an excellent product, you have done the production in a very excellent manner and the outcome, that is a product, is an excellent product in the laboratory, but sometimes the procedure may fail when it passes through the quality assurance test. ठीक है, for a pilot plant scale up to be successful, a product must be processed on a large frequently with equipment that merely matches those used in a development and laboratory. So it is again, it is also related to the pilot plant, and it is in a general also, whenever you want to do any production, whenever the industry wants to produce a new drug, the first and the most important thing is the preparation, means what are the raw materials that it is going to be used, what are the machineries that could be used, the latest technologies machinery should be used, okay, not the previous machineries. You also see which machinery is successful for this production, so that machinery should be used. The manpower should be have a good amount of knowledge whenever producing a any pharmaceutical product, and yes, of course, the packaging should be also of a high and good quality. Now comes the importance of pilot plant scale up. So formulas are examined. So before doing any production, the first and the foremost thing is the examination of the formula. Then of course examining the related processing equipment, that already told you why, because equipment play a very major role in the production sector. So the production of any pharmaceutical industry, it required the equipment also. So the equipment should be of a good quality, of the latest technology. The equipment should be free from any source of microbial contaminant, okay, because that is the thing in which the production will going to be take place, right? So that material should be free from any source of microbial and foreign contamination. Now the third importance of the scale up pilot plant scale up is adjusting the production rate, okay. Our physical space concept is very necessary, means the physical space concept where actually the production site is, that concept is very important. Now again, to adjust the production rate, it is again very important. Now appropriate records and reports are required to support GMPs. Essential features must be identified to ensure the quality. So these are certain importance of the pilot plant that you must be aware of. Now comes the steps that are there in the pilot plant scale up techniques. So again, what are the steps? The first is the laboratory batch, okay. Then is a choosing an appropriate preliminary formula. The task is carried out in a development lab. Batch 1x 3 to 5 kgs of solid and semi-solid material. A liquid ranges from 3 to 5 liters, 3000 to 5000 tablet capsule unit, laboratory pilot batch. So it is very important to understand this. The firstly, what you do, you choose an appropriate formula. Then after that, where the actually the task should be carried, means the space, it should be well known. Yes, the task is carried out in a development lab, means a lab that is fully developed, means it should have a appropriate amount of equipment, it should have an appropriate amount of all the kinds of machineries and everything. Then you do the batch, means 3 to 5 kgs of solid and semi-solid material could be used. Liquid, that should be range, if I'm talking about the first batch, okay, so liquid ranges is 3 to 5 liters, then 3000 to 5000 tablet capsule per unit could be made, and laboratory pilot plant batches created. Now if I'm talking about the batch of 10x, that is the batch for the 1x, and now we are going to understand the batch of the 10x. So 30 to 50 kgs of solid or semi solid material, ranging between ranging from 30 to 50 liters. In this, the capsules limit is 30,000 to 50,000 capsules and tablets unit are there. Depending upon the size, it may vary. Sometimes the tablet or the capsule size are small in size, sometimes it is big in size. So depending upon the size of tablets and capsule, the units may vary. Now availability of equipment, of course, the second thing is that availability of the equipment, means whether the equipments are present or not, whether the highest or the latest technology equipment are present or not. Okay, now the third factor is the availability of the active drug substances. Raw material cost is very important, from where you buy the raw material, what are the raw materials to be uses. The raw material should be of latest technology, sorry, not latest, should be of a good quality, it should be free from any source of microbial contaminant. Then inventory needs for the clinical and non-clinical researchers. Now comes the pilot plant production. Work is done by combining the development laboratories and the manufacturing unit. In standard production equipment, there is a represent a whole production batch. If you take the batch of 100x, now the things you see, it will changes. Now how much solid is needed? The solid or the semi solid material needed is 300 to 500 kgs of the solid and semi solid material. So as you increases the batch, of course everything will increases. Now here if you see that the liquid ranges from 300 to 500 liters, then what will be the units? Then the units is 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs tablet or capsule per unit. So depending upon the batches, everything get changed. Now coming to the pilot plant scale up consideration for solids. So if you are doing the pilot plant scale up consideration for solid, then the pharmaceutical medicine preparation in the shape of tablet, capsule, powder, granule, and the suppositories are classified as a dosage form. So whenever you are everything, if you see the liquid dosage is the other thing, the solid dosage is other thing. So whenever you are talking about any powder or any capsule or any tablets or sometimes the suppositories, so they are classified as a solid dosage form. Okay, now understanding the pilot plant scale up technique used in the pharmaceutical manufacturing would help with the pilot plant scale up consideration for the solid. Now material handling system, here three things are important used, that is material handling system. In the yesterday's lecture also I have made a complete video on the material handling system, dry blending, granulometry. Okay, so you can refer to that lecture also for the complete understanding of what is material handling and what is dry blending. Now material handling, or you can say it is a material management, it is a very critical or it is an important steps in the large scale manufacturing. Okay, the vacuum loading system, devices to raise and tilt the drums, metering the pump, screw fit system are example of different types of material handling. Okay, so the properties of the material determine the sort of the system to be chosen. Now the dry blending. Granulated powder must be well mixed with to ensure the appropriate medication distribution. If there is an unequal percentage of the batch could raise from the insufficient powder blending before mixing the before mixing, take the necessary procedure to guarantee that all the components are rid of lumps and accumulate. So dry blending is again very important whenever you are dealing with any solid. So blending is very important. You should always check that whether the blending is done properly or not. Everything should be mixed very properly, blend very properly, so to avoid any types of lumps. Now granulometry, the procedure entails converting a tiny powder, means whenever you convert the tiny powders into a free flowing powder that are extremely easy to compress. Okay, so it is known as granular, means whenever you are treating any tiny powder also to convert into a free flowing powder, that is a granulometry. Now comes the coating for tablets. So yesterday also we have discussed about the coating of tablets. As you all are aware of, different colors of the tablets are present, different types of coatings are there on the tablets, just to make it attractive also. So the coating of the tablets, for the tablets, so the granulation of a tablets formulation can be tested using a high speed tablet press, because yesterday only I have told you that punching is done, and after punching then coating is done. Stability and quality control, of course, yeah, the before dispatching the medicine in the market is the responsibility of the pharmaceutical industries to check the quality as well as the stability of the medicine, because it is something that is going to treat the illness of the any person. So it is very important and to check the stability as well as the quality of the tablet. Then the stability is studied at a very faster pace, means studies on accelerated light stability investigation of force deterioration in the compliance with ICH recommendation. Binders are used to make powders more compressible and resistant to breaking during the handling in the tablet formulation. Now comes to the conclusion part. So before understanding the conclusion part, let us understand one thing, that actually why this whole thing, that is the pilot plant scale up technique, play a major role in any pharmaceutical industries. Or you can say, let us firstly understand what are the steps that is there. So the first is the define the product. In the scale up techniques may, if we talk about the steps, the first one is that define the product, means firstly you define the product. Then comes the conduct the lab study, means what you are doing, you are just conducting the lab studies. Then of course you are defining the key rate controlling steps. Then conduct the preliminary is a study, means the pre-formulation studies. Then of course where you, the place where you conduct all this production, that place is should be very clean, means design the environment control, cleaning and sanitization system should be there, packaging and how to treat the waste material or how to handle the waste material, that is very important. Then how to evaluate the pilot plants, that is again important, that is the product process and economy. Now, if we talk about the conclusion, then the scale up runs are easily visible to a personnel of the production and quality control division. After being cleared by the quality control division, excipient and medication can be obtained from the production division more expensive location. Engineering department specialists are available for equipment installation, maintenance and repair. The frequency of the direct interaction between the formulators and the production people in the manufacturing area will be minimized. Any manufacturing issues will be directed to the people at the pilot plant. So this is the conclusion of the pilot plant scale up technique. Now let's quickly understand what all we have discussed and what kind of questions can be made. The first and the most important thing, that in examination or interviews they can ask you, what do you understand by a pilot plant? or they can ask you what do you understand by the pilot plant scale up techniques, or simply they can make you understand what is a pilot plant and what do you understand by scale up techniques. Sometimes in interviews, generally not in examination, but of course in interviews they can ask you what do you understand by 3 M's, that is money, men and material. Okay, now again this is very important. They can ask you about the objectives of the pilot plant. This pilot plant objective is very important, so you must be aware of the objective. You can go to the slide and get updated about the objectives of the pilot plant. Then of course the significance or the importance of pilot plant, means what are the significance, what are the importance of the pilot plant scale up techniques. Here something is very important. Sometimes they can just give you create a steps in a pilot plant scale up techniques, or make an overview of the the batch laboratory batch of 1x. So if you want, if they ask you to make the laboratory batch of 1x, then you have to write that is 3 to 5 kgs of solid and semi solid material and everything. Okay, if they ask you to create a laboratory batch of 10x, then of course the values may change. Then of course for 100x the values may change. Here something is very important. They can ask you what are the factors that is there in the creating the laboratory batch, or means what are the factors that play an important role. Then of course depending upon the size, means size is one of the most important factor. Then the raw material cost, then the inventories, then the availability of active drug substances. Now simple hai, uh, you must be aware of this thing, that is the pilot plant consider scale up consideration for the solids. This is again an important thing. Then of course there must be some types of MCQs that could be there in examination, so you must have a thorough in this pilot plant consideration. And yes, of course they can even ask you what could be your personal requirement, means what is the personal requirement is needed whenever you want to work in any pilot plant sector. Then of course everything you must be aware of. Okay, now I would like to mention here one thing I have just missed here, that is what are the stages of liquid preparation. We have seen the this pilot plant is scale up consideration for solids. Now if we talk about the same with the liquid, then if we talk about the stages of liquid preparation, the first one is the first step is the raw material. Then after the raw material is taken or choose, then you do the measuring and weighing of that raw material. Then after measuring and weighing, you do the mixing with the help of different types of mixers that are available. Then comes the filling. Filling is very important, and after filling, packaging is done. Then the finished product is stored in a certain place, and of course the quality is being checked, that is quality assurance is there. So this is the steps of the stages of liquid preparation, sorry, and that is raw material, then measuring and weighing, mixing, filling, packaging, finished product storage, and last one is the quality assurance. So this could be asked also in examination, so you must be aware of everything. That is what is the steps that is needed in solid consideration, what are the steps that is going to be needed in liquid consideration. Okay, so this is that brings to the end of the lecture. I hope you have understood the lecture. If you have any doubt, any queries related to the lecture, so you can simply leave your queries on the comment section below. In the next lecture I'll be answering your queries. You can also visit our website, that is www.itlsacademy.com. This is our helpline number, that is 7080833450. You can simply call on this number and get updated. This is also our WhatsApp number also, so you can simply call on this number. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe, and yes, don't forget to press the bell icon to get more updated. Thank you so much.